I have 3 washes on today, 2 for repeat customers, 1 a new customer. This particular job is going to be fun because this is a previous customer, but they just recently built this barn here. Let me tell you, normally this job takes me little of no time, but this time might be a little bit different because normally this barn isn't here and I can just cut right through there. Instead, after I do the front, I'm going to have to back Jazzy up through that gate all the way up to here and then around so that I can wash the back of this house. My only water source is the back right over here, and that's an impossibility for me to get from there to Jazzy with this building here. So pulling Jazzy here and then tapping into there to wash the rest of the house is my only option. I'll also be washing portions of the deck, just kind of washing around it, through it, and over it and above it. This building here will not be washed. But once again, this is a repeat customer. I think I've washed for this lady and nice gentleman probably 4 or 5 times over the years. And the beauty is they always pay me more than I ask. I've never met them once. They highly promote me. And yeah, even today she texted me and she said, the money's on the porch and I gave you more than you requested. So let's go over and see if the money is in fact here. I'm confident that it is because she sent me a picture. There it is. Boom shakalaka. $5 more. I don't know how much more, but we shall see. Let's go ahead and watch this one. And I want to talk to you about why we always increase our prices, even for existing customers. This should be fun. Don't go anywhere. When I began washing for this customer probably 7 years ago, my prices were drastically different than they are now. I've increased them over the years, and every time I wash, I increase the price a little bit. We'll talk more about that here in just a moment. But it's very important that we adjust our prices regardless of how many times that we've washed for them and regardless of how many years it's been since we've washed for them. Always raise your prices. Now this home is not terribly dirty. Again, I wash it probably every other year, and it won't take me long. I have improved in my skills. I'm a better washer than I've ever been, in my opinion. My equipment is better. I'm faster, and I'm more efficient. Some would say, those are good reasons not to increase your price. You're not going to be there as long. You're better than you've ever been. Your equipment is better. Maybe you shouldn't charge as much. Let's talk about that. Now that Jazzy has been adjusted and I can move around to the back side of this home, I have to tell you, I literally just got off the phone with another pressure washer who does not share the same business model as I share as it pertains to adjusting prices every year. And we had a good laugh when I told him what the topic of this video is going to be about. Let me say this in advance. I never, and you know this about me, I have held true to this over the years. I never criticize someone else's business model. Just because it's not mine doesn't mean it's not perfect for them. In my estimation, if it's working for them, they should not change it. He actually said, perhaps I should change my business model. And I said, I don't think that should is the word. You can, and that's the beauty of it, guys. Years ago, perhaps, you were in the factory, you were in the warehouse, you were in the office, you worked for the system, and you said, I can do it better. And you chose to step out on your own to do your own thing. Who am I or anyone else to criticize your business model? Now, there's an evolutionary process. You may choose to change it, and we all do. There are many things that I do differently now than I did when I first began. But this one business model of increased prices is something that I've held to with very few exceptions. All right, as we finish up this opportunity, we're going to head to the next one, and there we're going to talk about why I increase my prices every year, even for existing customers. And ultimately in this video, I'm even going to explain how I go about adjusting my prices. So this is a masterclass, guys. You do not want to miss the rest of this video. Now someone's going to ask about that outlet. All the outside outlets on this home are turned off. It's never a bad idea to ask the customers to turn off their outside outlets. All right, here we are at opportunity number 2 of 3 on the day. Again, a repeat customer, and we're going to talk about why I increase my prices year after year, even for repeat customers. Now, someone said, Mike, the house isn't as dirty as the first time that I washed it years ago. I've gotten better at my craft. I've gotten better equipment. I'm far more efficient, and I'm in and out in no time. Whereas the first time it took me 2 hours, now it only takes me 1 hour. And therefore I just cannot justify an increase in prices. Let me say it is for those reasons that we do increase our prices. The fact that I'm better than ever before. The fact that I have invested more of my time, brain cells, and energy into increasing my learning for the benefit of the customer and my business. I go to the huge convention every year and many other conferences, and I take all the training classes. I enjoy the fellowship, but I'll bust through the crowd just to go and take a class. I'm 11 years in, and my capacity for learning is larger than ever. I want to learn more. I want to be more. I want to increase not only in learning, but I want to increase in skill. And that's one more reason why I charge more. Another reason we charge more is the simple cost of living. The cost of living increase in America on average over the years historically has been around 8%. It's actually more than that now. In other words, it costs at least 8% more to live this year in America than it did last year. And as I said, that number is low. It's actually higher than that. But the national average historically is about 8%. And so guys, if you do not give yourself at least an 8% increase in salary, you're actually giving yourself a demotion. You're not doing better financially, you're doing worse. Never lose sight of the fact that you are the one who is in control of your salary. As the business owner, no one gives you a raise except for you. The government won't give you a raise. Even your family won't give you a raise. Your customers most definitely will not give you a voluntary raise. If you don't increase your salary will never increase. Remember when you worked at the factory for the man and you couldn't get a raise? You saw the company increasing, but they wouldn't promote you. They wouldn't give you an increase in your salary or your wages. Even though you were better at your craft, you were more efficient. You made them more money year after year after year. And you vowed that if you could ever get out of that situation, you would never treat yourself the way that others are treating you. Being a business owner is your opportunity to change the dynamic financially for your family. And your customers will not do that voluntarily. You have to increase your prices. And by the way, don't forget, if you choose not to, the only people who suffer is your family. And if you're okay with that, I promise you, your customers will be as well. I recently got an email from my insurance agent making me aware that my insurance rates would increase once again this year. No explanation, no apology, just the announcement that I'll be paying more next year than I am this year. And the thing is, he's not doing anything any differently. I'm not getting a better insurance. He's not performing better. Hopefully, I'm not even going to be utilizing his services. And yet, he increased my prices. Why is that? It's the only way he can give himself an increase in salary. They understand that in order for a business to exist and to continue existing, they have to raise my rates. That reminds me, earlier this year, I was contacted by a lady who said that I came highly recommended by another pressure washing company. This individual had went out of business. He's no longer pressure washing, but he referred me. When I gave her my price, she came back and said, "You are literally double what the other guy was." And my response was this: my prices reflect the fact that your search for a pressure washer has ended. The reason that you're searching for a pressure washer is because his rates did not allow him to stay in business. Your search for a pressure washer is over once you hire Mike's Pressure Washing. And guys, I'm here to tell you, I'm in it for the long haul. This isn't a hobby. This isn't a game. This is a business, and I aim to stay in business for a long time. Just as you are not being fair to yourself and your family if you do not increase your prices, thus increasing your salary, you are also being unfair to your customers when they can't be guaranteed that you'll be in business next year. Make sure that you're in business next year by increasing your prices. As we go into opportunity number 3, we're going to talk about how we increase our prices. Don't go anywhere. So here we are in a community called Renaissance. I find myself washing in Renaissance quite often, so I've never been able to get into the community group on Facebook. However, the homeowners have done a great job of doing their advertising for me. In fact, this lady tells me that she published a request in the Facebook community page and my name came up a number of times. So here we are washing. Let's talk about how we go about increasing our prices even for existing customers. So how do I go about increasing my prices year after year, again, even for existing customers? Well, we spoke earlier about the national average for cost of living increase of about 8% annually. So at least 8% every year, my price will increase. And so if this nice lady who has hired me this year for the first time to wash her home decides next year that she wants her home washed, it will be 8% of an increase. If she waits 2 years, it will be a 16% increase at least. And if she waits 3 years, at least a 24% increase. Now that's just the cost of living. That still isn't accounting for a bonus or a raise, if you will, in my salary. So it will be at least 8% and possibly 10 to 12%. And I'll go on record and say that that's not a rigid number. There's case-by-case scenarios, and it's true that it's not always that much. On the other hand, sometimes it's more. But I will tell you that it's not fair to your homeowner that you wait 5 years and then increase your price. You wash it this year, next year, the year after, and at some point you have to raise your price. It's better that you increase the price gradually as opposed to dropping a huge number on them in 5 years. As a pro tip, I will also tell you that in front of the customer, I will never use the word increase. Instead, I use the word adjusted. And so let's suppose that Nancy has hired me once again this year to wash her home. I will simply say, Nancy, because of your faithfulness year after year and allowing me to wash your home, there will only be a slight adjustment in the price, and then I'll name the price. I never use the word increase. I certainly never use the word upcharge or upsell or uptick. I use the word adjusted. It's just an easier pill to swallow. Now, I am well aware of the fact that there are those in the comment section who are going to want to argue my points. And may I say that I highly encourage it. As I said before, my capacity for learning is great. I love the evolutionary process of being a business owner. If you have points that are better or different than mine, I want to hear them. I really do want to grow, and I'm not above learning what others, even if you're in your first and second year. What do you think? I'm interested. I have one more thing to say about this before we close out. Don't go anywhere. Because of my increased prices over the years, I have been able to put back substantial amounts of money into my business account, which allows me to have the best equipment possible. Not only the best equipment on one rig, but I'm building another rig as a backup rig. Many guys are struggling to get a backup machine, and the Lord has blessed me to get a backup rig. And I'm able to do that at no cost, kinda, sorta. What I mean by that is I'm able to do it through retained earnings, money that I have put back over the years that allows me to increase and scale my business without it affecting my pocket whatsoever. In fact, just this weekend, I hired another part-time employee who will be working on nothing more than my books. I've hired a bookkeeper, and she will give me no less than 10 hours a week to work on my books, and all of that is through retained earnings. Retained earnings is the percentage of money that you put back from every wash into the business, into a separate business account, and you can take from that business account to spend it on whatever you want to. More equipment, more employees, a new shop, whatever. I put back 12% of every house wash or every job, regardless of commercial or residential. 12% goes back into the business, and that allows me to upgrade my business in whatever capacity that I see fit. Once again, you said it yourself. Man, if ever I could have a business, I would treat myself better than what the company's treating me. And now you're here, so you have to ask yourself, are you any better off? It's all in your control. If you've enjoyed this kind of content, then you may also enjoy my other channel called Xclusively Fresh. It is a pay-to-play channel that many guys have joined and find to be extremely valuable for their own business. Simply text the number on the screen and I will send you a link to all the information. And I'll also leave a link in the description. It's called Xclusively Fresh. You'll receive videos every single morning just for the membership of Xclusively Fresh. We talk about this kind of information all the time, including live videos, Zoom videos, exclusive behind the scenes content, and it comes at a price. You have to invest into your business. Hey, I really appreciate you watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell tab and leave a comment. I really appreciate it. My name's Mike. They call me the Fresh Rinse. I'll see you at the top, but you better not be late.